The Bezos empire strikes back, or I should say, dips their toes into the MLB. Who would have thought? They've taken a minority ownership in the Bally or Diamond Sports, whatever network you want to call it, that did file for bankruptcy recently, that has affected a third, in fact, over a third of all the MLB teams, including other sports, but we're going to stick to baseball as a baseball channel. Amazon is now coming in and saying, hey, we got you. Let's get into it.
There's a bankruptcy case going on
But
right
with
now
Major
in
League
Texas.
Baseball returning, the regional sports networks, the Bally sports networks,
with their financial situation and the RSN, the Mariners and their financial situation, I think it
Baseball
prevents
has
that.
supplemented its revenue by making money off every single cable subscriber, whether that person watched an inning of baseball or not.
Welcome everybody to the Touching Bases podcast. I just hit my mic. You probably could hear that. My bad. And today we're going over your favorite, your number one go-to for package delivery and for equipment. I would say almost everything I've purchased for my setup here, except for this screen and that computer, is from Amazon. And so yeah, I use Amazon. So I'm kind of psyched about this. Unfortunately, it doesn't affect these guys at all. It kind of sucks. So Amazon is now taking a little bit of a portion of ownership into, or I should say in the stakes of the Diamond Sports to kind of bail them out of their issue. I'm not going to get into all the numbers and stuff because of how much that they're bankrupt to and the teams they owe. It's old news and it doesn't really matter. But this should excite fans, at least for those 11 teams. It's over a third of the RSN teams that were struggling with the Bally/Diamond Sports Network bankruptcy and trying to find a new home and how they're going to stream it, how they're going to get it out to different platforms. The whole thing is basically rooted, if you've been living under a rock, from the fact that cable companies are not popular anymore. People are streaming more than ever. No one wants to pay for cable anymore just to watch their one team because almost all their favorite shows are found on Netflix, HBO Max, Prime Video. And in this case, Amazon dipped their toes into the NFL world and where you could watch quite a few games if you had Amazon Prime or a Prime membership. At this point, I don't know many people that don't have Prime. The ones that don't have Prime are people pretty much with cable still. If you're not ordering stuff off of Amazon, I would say you're either a rebel who doesn't like to feed into a monopoly that's taking over everything, or you simply like to go to Target, spend your money there, and when you can buy everything online and probably at a cheaper price. I'm just saying. But now since they're dipping toes into the whole MLB broadcasting and streaming network, whoever has it is going to be able to see all those teams playing without having to subscribe to anything special on cable. And they're only paying for what they want. It's almost like a Liberty Mutual commercial. Pay for what you need. Now, if you don't like this move, please comment below. Let me know why. I am going to get to an argument that's been brought up that is very theoretical and it's kind of doomsday for MLB. My big question before I get to that is, what about the Mariners? And I know I'm being biased here, but Amazon's now taking a stake in Bally and Diamond Sports and those two or bought out companies or whatever you want to call them that are pretty much the same entity affected the Diamondbacks and the Padres. Now, I'm a fan of both teams, but my Mariners are still under Root Sports, and Root Sports is its own entity that is now not ran by Warner Brothers, and we don't know who's going to be disseminating all this stuff when it comes to cable, whether it's going to be a streaming service like Peacock, Apple, Amazon, or someone else. So why not Amazon, who was originally based in Washington and in Seattle, hey, you want a streaming platform? Come over to Amazon, just like every other team. Now, the only other option I can see, unless they're able to find a streaming network, is actually outsourcing it to MLB Network. And then MLB Network would be able to stream it that way, and people can just go on the app, pay the yearly amount, and they can watch their team as much as they want, as some of the teams have done. I don't know exactly if it's going to affect the Padres because technically MLB took over and decided to be the streaming source for the Padres, but now that Amazon's saying, hey, we can do it, I don't know if that's going to change. I have to read up on that. That's a question that just popped in my head, so if you know the answer, you looked into it before I could answer that question. Now, this leads me into that one argument that people have been worried about is this going to create even more diversity in the teams that have a large fan base already? You might be a Mariner fan and you also are a fan of the Padres, but because you can't get the Mariners because you don't have cable, because you would rather have Netflix and Amazon, instead of watching the Mariners, you're now watching the Padres. You're now watching the Diamondbacks. You're now watching the Rays. You're watching a team that you like, but instead of being able to watch your own team because it's so restrictive, you're watching something that's easy to access because you already pay for it as is. So this would create a divide. This would boost the fandomism, the famdom. I think that's the word, of those teams that are being supported by Amazon and are easy to watch, and you can watch them anywhere on your phone, at a friend's house, on the road, probably see it in airports because it's not cable anymore and they're not binding you with all this other stuff that you don't want to watch. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even like watching ESPN because I don't care about hockey. It is what it is. I just don't watch ESPN. I watch the MLB Network and I watch NFL games from NFL Red Zone. I like the highlights. I like my home team, but that's about it. So seeing these teams that have their own network, the Dodgers and the Yankees should be concerned about this because they have their own network. Yankees have Yes Network. That's been the way that they've been able to afford all these crazy expensive players all of these years. And now the Dodgers are doing almost the exact same thing because of their deal that they have, I believe, with either Warner Brothers or Universal. There's some company, and I'm sorry about this, I should know, they basically make 300 and some odd million in profit just from their contract with them. If LA Dodger fans don't have cable and they only have Amazon, that draws them to watch other teams. Maybe San Diego, maybe the Giants. I'm not sure if they're included on there. I don't think, but maybe the Angels because they're easier to watch. Does it mean that they're going to like the Angels right now because of how terrible that team looks? No, but that's the argument. My thing is you're going to love the team that is your home, that you identify yourself with. And I don't think anybody, very few, are going to bandwagon over these teams just because it's easier on Amazon. That's my take on it. Doesn't mean I'm right, but Amazon, what they should do is contract it out and be a minority option for every team. Not only would it benefit Amazon, but it would also benefit all the teams because it gives them a streaming platform rather than just cable. I don't think teams are going to want to go that route that have a major network because most of the time they are profiting already as is because they've already had it established versus all these other RSNs. They aren't established and it's going to cost them millions to be able to produce and make it work and hire and regulate it. Starting these things up costs a lot of money, which is where the conflict is. But it's not going to draw people to bandwagon entirely because I'm still a Mariners fan. I'm going to find a way to watch the Mariners. We are still waiting to see how that's going to be possible for the Mariners. But at least right now, I'm pretty happy I'm going to be able to watch my Diamondbacks and my Padres. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It's been almost 2 weeks that we've been on YouTube. I missed 2 days out of those 2 weeks, so I've already failed all of you. For those of you who have subscribed already, I'm trying to get to 100. I know that is a low goal at this point. I would love to get to 1,000 by May. So if you can, give me a help. It's just one click for a subscribe. You can click that bell if you want to see future videos. Please leave a comment below on what you think on this whole matter and what should Amazon do, or is there another company out there that should take over as far as the streaming process goes? I guess I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.